Hi everyone, today's art journal prompt, I think we're on week 48, is feather. I've got this feather that is from one of my wallpaper samples. I've got it in several different colours actually, and I just think it's beautiful, and today I'm going to do something with it. I want to do a really simple page. I haven't got a huge amount of time to spend today, and I just want people to realise that we don't have to spend hours and hours and hours putting a journal page together. We can end up with something beautiful, you know, by spending less time, which hopefully I'll be able to prove to you today. I've grabbed some of my food colourings. Let me show you. This is the bitter lemon. That's from the Sugar Flare food colouring, and what I've done is I've taken some out of this bottle, just a small amount, and I've put it into another spray bottle and topped it up with water, because I want something that's much more diluted than these ones here. These resemble the Dilutions in terms of vibrancy, and I don't want anything that bright today. And then I'm also using one of the Dr. Oetker gels. I bought some of these because they were cheap in the supermarket when I first had a dabble at making my homemade sprays, and if you want something to resemble Dilutions, then these are not the way to go, and you have to be really careful when you're diluting these as well. You must use really warm water, otherwise you just end up with a gelatinous blob in the bottom of your bottle, and once you've got that, you've got to bin it. You can't do anything with it. So I've put quite a lot of the tube of that one in the blue into my spray bottle, because again I want that diluted look. So let me just move a couple of things out of the way, and let's have a spray. I've got this stencil that I want to use. I've forgotten what it is. I think it's peacock feathers, but in fact I'm going to start off with the blue. I think by the looks of things I've got some purple on this already as well, so it'll be interesting to see what we end up with. So I just want a little bit of spray, and then I want to tap off. If I can get some of that purple in there. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's just lovely. And then I want to go back in again with some of the green. There we go. And then we can flick it over and just add a bit more of that. And that is my background. I mean, lovely and simple, isn't it? Nothing complicated there. So I'm going to give that a dry, and then I shall come back. Now, I'm not very happy with the line that I've got that's been left by my stencil. So I've cut a piece of cardstock that I'm going to use as a bit of a mask, and I'm going to put that down like that. And then I've rubbed a big fat, this is just a Dulux brush from the Decorators Centre, and I've rubbed it in some of my StazOn teal blue, and then I've rubbed the excess off on a piece of paper, and I'm just going to create a border like this, so that where I've got that harsh line, it looks more as if it's supposed to be there. And there we go. You see, that looks better because it looks like a frame that was meant to be there. So that's rescued that. Then what do I want to do? I'm going to keep my gloves on because I want to just start assembling my page. As I say, I'm keeping it really simple today. I've got these two pieces of paper here that are leftovers from when you've seen me use up my leftover spray ink. And I just want to form a really simple collage. I've got one of the tags that Linda Cooper-Pierce sent me in Happy Mail, and I've printed off this wonderful quote. I was having a look for what I could use for my wording, and I found this on the internet. Let me be as light as a feather, strong with purpose, yet light at heart, able to bend. And though I might become frayed, able to pull myself together again, which is a quote by Anita Sams. I think Anita Sams is a watercolour artist, but I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. And so I've printed that off on my printer at home, and I've torn around the edges. I've distressed the tag using this foot file here, and I've just really roughed it up because I don't want any harsh lines. And then what I want to do is just ink around the edges of these pieces, and I'm just going to go away and have a think about what I want to do. In fact, actually, I've got my distress ink here in brushed corduroy. And what I'm going to do is I've got some deli paper just off to my right hand side here, and I'm going to put a daub of that down. spray some water on it, and I just want to colour. Is that the right brush that I want to use? I just want to colour. Let's just move that out of the way. Let's do it on the edge here. I just want to put a light wash over this. I don't want it so bright white. Right, so that's that done. So I can go ahead and dry that now. And then let me have a think about what colour I want to use to distress around the edges. So bear with me and I shall come back. Right, so I've got my components now, and I just want to ink around the edges and try and bring all of this together. I've got the brushed corduroy again and a makeup sponge, and I'm just going to ink around the edge of the piece that I've just coloured, just to frame it on the tag. There we go, you see that looks better already. And I think what I want to do is just rub again the excess off. Let me just bring back and I just want to see if I can just make it just a bit darker around the edges like this. And then how does that look? You see that looks lovely. So I can glue that on. I shall do that just with some Pritt stick. In fact, mine's the Scotch, so let's just do that now, paying particular attention to the edges so that centralise that. Use a credit card just to smooth it down to make sure that that's adhered nicely. See, that's really sweet. So that's that done. Let me just put the lid back on the glue. And then I want to ink around the edges of my feather. And in fact, let's do these first. I'm going to use the teal. Here we go. I've got a different makeup sponge here. So I'm just going to go around the edges of this. And because I've torn the pages, the ink really soaks into the edges, which gives it a really nice look. And then for my feather, I think I'm going to use archival ink. So let me just put the lid back on there. And then let's bring our page back. So that's how we're looking. And in fact, actually, whilst I've got the Stays On Teal out, which side did I use? I'm going to go around the edge of my piece here as well. Right, so I want to assemble my pieces now. Something like that. So I'm going to have a play because I just want to have a think and make sure that I've got this exactly as I want it, and then I shall come back and show you at the end. And here's my finished page all glued into my book. I've made a couple of changes. I decided that the colour of the original tag wasn't quite right, and so I swapped it for a white tag. Printed off my my quote again and went over it in the teal Stays On ink in exactly the same way as I did the previous one. And then where I'd inked around the feather in black, I went over it with a bit of teal, and where I'd inked around the edges of the other pieces in teal, I've gone over them with black, and that's added sort of like a double layer, and I really like that. And I've done exactly the same with the outside of the page as well. Then I decided it just needed a bit more texture, and so I found some of this gauze in my medical kit, and so I've torn out, cut out 2 pieces, and I dyed it with the green spray, the green food colouring, and I've glued everything in, and then I've added a bird, and I just think that's made all the difference. It's just brought everything together, and I just love the simplicity of that page. I love the colours, very happy with that, and I just love that quote. So I hope you liked that. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'm just going to switch off because I want to show you a previous page that I did for Sing, so that you can see the 2 pages side side by side because I think I'm going to have them printed into cards. Bear with me. So there they are, side by side. This is the page I did for Sing a few weeks ago, and I just think those two are just beautiful together, that I really do think that I might have them made into cards. But if anybody's got any other ideas, please do let me know below. Anyway, I look forward to seeing what you come up with for the prompt feather. See you all again soon. Bye for now.